Consider supporting the channel on Patreon, becoming a channel member, or purchase some merch. Links are in the description below. Hey guys, it's RodimusPrimal. I am back with another video, and today I just got back from the movies. We took the kids and we went with some friends, and we had a really good time for the 40th anniversary screening for the first 4 episodes of the G1 cartoon. And this was something special. This wasn't something where, you're sitting there, something brand new, nothing that you had already come to expect, but it was something special because it gave an opportunity for everybody to see the original cartoon broadcast in a way so that new fans and old fans can come together alike and enjoy the celebration that is the 40th anniversary. And of course, I went to my movie theater. I did pick up the 40th anniversary, the 40th anniversary cup that has the box art for the Japanese with the Triptychon and Metroplex and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really cool to have it on a collector's cup. I did not pick up the popcorn bucket. It was one of those things where I was just like, we have enough popcorn and those buckets only can be used for so many things, but it was something nice to be able to get the souvenir cup. This presentation was not the 1986 movie. A lot of people were wondering, oh, is this the 1986 movie, broadcast again? No, it wasn't that. And it was advertised that it was the first 4 episodes of the cartoon. And it was something very different. So I'm going to give you guys my experiences about this. I went to the movie theater, we got there, they had these advertisements play ahead of time. Basically, it was Ben, from Hasbro, showing off a bunch of Hasbro's Transformers products. They were talking about the Beyblade stuff. They were talking about a few other things. And then they decided to show a 2-minute clip for Transformers Earthspark. They're trying to get the word out there for people to actually watch the show. There's rumor about the show right now that Transformers Earthspark is coming to an end after season 2, but I'm not going to entertain that until we have some more of official word and where they're going with it and what have you. And some people like it and some people don't, but that's fine. But right after that, they started interviewing some of the voice cast. They had Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, talking about their experiences when they used to do voice table work. And then they did this screen reading. And that's how they presented the first episode of the cartoon. They had More Than Meets the Eye Part 1, and they had the special effects overlaid on top. And then what they did was they had the screening. They had Peter Cullen doing both Optimus Prime and Ironhide, Frank Welker doing all of his voices. They had Paul Eiding was actually doing the narration, and he did a couple of other different characters. Same thing for Greg Berger. Greg Berger's Spike, a little weird, not gonna lie, but it was nice to have the two of them there at least to fill in. Michael Bell was there for Prowl, which was great. Hearing him do the voice again. Dan Gilvezan for Bumblebee. And then they had Frank Totoro, and the voice actor's name is escaping me who they had fill in for Jazz. But Frank Totoro, I gotta say, his rendition of Starscream, and again, I'm apologizing in advance for the not knowing the voice actor's name, who did Jazz, both of them were pretty good. I have to say, especially Frank Totoro's Starscream, it seems he really has nailed it down. Wheeljack, he needs a little bit of work. Same thing with Sparkplug, same thing with Reflector, with the way that they did those voices. Was similar but different than Chris Latta, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Understandable that a lot of these voice actors are no longer with us, so they can't just re-record the whole episode over again. And I'm surprised they couldn't get Victor Caroli to do the narration again, but at least they got a lot of the voice cast available to be able to present this. And they had this streamer overlay that showed all of the episodes, and then they had some back and forth with the table reading with them there and showing them how they were, in effect doing it. And they did the entirety of the first episode. Then they did a bunch of bloopers, and then they aired episodes 2, 3, and 4. So More Than Meets the Eye Part 2, 3, and transport to oblivion as is, without any changes done to it, without any voice track overlays. And it was a nice presentation. So when it was all said and done, my kids were just happy to be there, and they were constantly quoting a lot of the lines because they've seen the episodes more than once. They know all these characters, they love them, right? But then the friend we went with, her kids, are sitting there going like, wow, this is kind of fun. This is cool. We're enjoying this. And, her son is really into Transformers, started watching my channel, and is, just to learn about a lot of the new characters that are available to him, because he's a brand new Transformers fan. It's cool. And he's asking me this question about, what about this character? And what about that character? And who's this? And, what's the story with that? How can they do this? And it's all the questions that I used to ask all the time when I was around his age. And, now, making videos about those questions being asked, and then making retrospectives about characters, it was like a renewal for me, like, having a new fan just asking all the questions that you would ask when you first see the Transformers cartoon for the very first time. And it was a lot of fun. Then we went to lunch and we were hanging out, and he was asking me questions and asking about this character, and they were doing their impressions about the different characters. It was a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun. Definitely worth, seeing it. Now, I do have some negatives about this. For starters, they used the YouTube videos that they're using, which is the Rhino remaster for the video, and the standard actual, audio track that they've been using on YouTube and on Tubi, which fortunately does not have those added sound effects that Rhino added in. Basically it's the same sound effects that Shout Factory does. I wish that they had used the Shout Factory masters specifically for this, but beggars can't be choosers, right? So, thinking about this, they did not level all of the voice tracks and sound effects for this presentation. So there were a lot of times where like the sound effects were a little bit too glaring for the voice tracks, which is fine on a TV, which is fine through your computer speakers, but through the movie speaker, for the theater speakers, it's a little much, and it doesn't sound right. Like there was parts where the sound effects were too loud and the voices were too low, or vice versa, and it was noticeable in the theater. But something, this is something that you really want to complain about. It's like, look, they were doing something awesome for the fans. For new people who have never seen the original Transformers cartoon before, brand new fans, and old hats like me who love Transformers and have been with it since the franchise began. This was a 40th anniversary special in which allowed all of us to experience it together, in a big theater. Like, when are you ever going to get that? And this would be something nice if they released this special edition thing, as like a 40th anniversary package or something like that, like where, okay, now we've seen it in the theater. Now let's just bring those first 4 episodes with that first episode redubbing, and then have the first episode still available to have the original voice track so you can hear it how it originally was, because they did not add the vocoder effect for Soundwave. So it was just basically Frank Welker with the Dr. Claw voice, which was fine. Like I said, like these are just things that like you notice. And we also laughed at at Greg Berger's Spike. Like, it was just kind of like, this doesn't fit. But but I gotta say, like the voice actors that they had filling in for the most part were fine. Greg Berger, and Paul Eiding were there, like I said, and Frank Totoro. It's great to have all of these people together to bring the experience for this for friends, family, Transformers fans alike. My whole family, we were all wearing a Transformers shirt except for my son, because he actually just recently outgrew his, so it was a little too small for him. So he just wore his Mario shirt, which is perfectly fine. But man, it was a lot of fun. Definitely worth the experience. Sure, yeah, it's kind of expensive for these souvenir cup and the popcorn bucket that they were selling, but hey, it was a lot of fun again. I definitely would recommend going if you hadn't. I mean, I'm putting this video up now. It's Saturday, and they only have it again for tomorrow. But by the time that you see this, you may or may not have gone. But I want to know what you guys have thought about this experience if you did get to go. And do you think that they should release this, you know, for fans to be able to see through like a special edition DVD or Blu-ray or something? And should they remaster the first, you know, the original cartoon on Blu-ray? I think they should. I think they should go back to the original negatives and maybe add in some of the deleted scenes that were not there. Like, there's a scene where Bumblebee is getting repaired by Ratchet. There's a scene where the Autobots, when they get knocked off of the the oil rig platform, and you have Windcharger's only line in the original cartoon, 3-episode miniseries, where they're talking about how Huffer is stuck and what have you. And then there's a couple of other different deleted scenes that did not make it into the finished episodes. I'd love to see some of that, maybe either whether it was animated or reanimated or what have you, and maybe like added back in. Like, those would be kind of cool stuff to see, because for 40 years this franchise has been around, and to see people be able to go back and see what it was back then, but also see where it's going forward. I mean, it's a cool thing. Again, what do you guys think? Did you guys see the 40th anniversary streaming? And if not, of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. I have many more Transformers videos, including a new retrospective coming very soon, so stay tuned for all of that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.